Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, there have been a deliberate conversion of opinion and thoughts into laws and policies without contacting the people. In this video, I want us to look at a very important aspect of governance. And I need to acknowledge that this has been a problem across all the administrations ever since time immemorial. But as we said, we need to be very keen on precedents and the foundation that we are setting. Most of and the tragedy of this is because the best model of a people-centered approach in governance, best practice is normally to involve the people. President Ruto in the recent past has made some very good-looking policies and intentions to change some laws, but they are lacking the touch and they're lacking the approval of the common man. This I'm speaking about public participation. I want to ask you a question. At the constituency, at the county level, there is what a document known as CIDP, County Integrated Development Plan. Even at the national scene, even at the national government, there is also an annual development plan. There is a plan. And before CIDP, in formulation of CIDP, there is public participation. Even though I need to acknowledge that part of what people have been doing is just to announce to some few people meet in a room, and you get the ideas of some one or two hecklers around, but the decision that was made in the boardroom before you came for this public participation remains supreme. That's at the county level. But I need to look at it, I want to look at it holistically, because one of the things that personally I've really had a challenge with, and if you talk to individuals, if you talk to people who work in the NGOs that are in the space of governance, you will agree with me that we have scarcity, or rather, we have very shaky legislative or rather legal framework on how we conduct public participation, on how we consult mwananchi. To President Ruto, that voice of the common man is a very important voice. You know why? If it is for us against us, then it is not for us. If you want to solve my problem, I should be part of that solution. There have been conversion where people think, okay, we have what the president thinks deems right, we have what that commission thinks is right. But the loophole there is the fact that Wanjiku is not being asked. Let me not take you far. 3 latest developments. Do you know that after a protracted campaign period, a political promise to reverse port from Naivasha to Mombasa was hatched? And that was a political promise at campaign trail. Day one, William Ruto signed some documents to execute that reversal. 1 month when we're in government, we are realizing that, look here, the China loan was being paid by revenue stream from SGR that has gone down because we are killing the port in Naivasha. So, not even about that. A host of business community from Sudan complained that they are not getting the best of their deal because of that reversal. But don't you think that during Jamhuri Day celebration, thriving or rather construction of an industrial park in Naivasha, which was supposed to come because of that Naivasha port, President Ruto mentioned about it. Let me tell you, I believe that as much as it is right to listen to the voice of people in Mombasa, it was also wise to listen to the voice of people in Nakuru, rather in Naivasha. Public participation. So that there is no backlash. Ourselves, we approved it. And I can tell you that the best ingredient, or rather the best thing with the BBI provisions was that they really talked to people. They did public participation. Kuongea na watu, walikutana na watu. Now, look at GMO. A cabinet resolution, which other people say it was never be, it came out and Moses Kuria made it public, made public that pronouncement. And before we know, maize farmers in Kitale were already up in arms against the administration over that move because they were harvesting. Could we have consulted stakeholders, farmers in Kitale? We wouldn't even have reached to a situation where we are protesting about a government move. Before we know, the experts were warning about impending health risks that were in it. And then it was bogged by international politics, neo and geopolitics. Who do we consult? Who is the faceless men and women behind Ruto's opinions and thoughts that are being converted into laws and policies? When someone is faceless, it camouflages. So, kieka kwa red, to show red. Kieka black, blue to show blue. So there are faceless people behind President Ruto's reign. And these are the people that have made it a little bit difficult for the consultation of the people. I know we've had a lot of council. There is economic council. There is a working party on education. There are many other aspects. But President Ruto must acknowledge that some of those commissions and those councils we are creating, there is up to, they can make decisions, they can make elite, do research and have their own findings. But it's also important to take those findings to the people so that you convince us. We will accept. Look at Hustler Fund. You know, look at Hustler Fund. Just roll it because we said you never had a public participation on what exactly is the real problem. Are we going to solve it by this? And how about the limit? How about if, in fact, you don't make it become so easy to access it, because the problem has never been an easy of accessing. These apps are there. And if it is about app, kila mtu anaweza access. Make the limit higher, put some safeguards, ease of collateral, sell the interest rate so that people can get it. Okay, that's my opinion if I was to be consulted. And I'm not saying my opinion is final. Without public participation, we are talking about increasing the fees in secondary and universities, and the parents are crying that things are not right for them. Did you consult the parents? If you ask them, they will tell you no. Decision was made in the board. So I am speaking this from just gathering what has been happening in the political space, that the faceless people that make decisions should allow, at least let them not take our president in hostage. They should allow the Kenyan people, take those recommendations to the Kenyan people also to decide before. Even if we can't decide, but at least we should know before. You know, the risk is this, and someone was asking, okay, hatuwezi chukua opinion za kila mtu. We are lacking the legal framework to do it. But when decisions are made closed door with the big English, the big hotels, then they most likely have the leeway to doctor estimations, the budget estimations. That's akin to corruption. If you're supposed to do a project and you've already gone to speak to people, look at what happened in Machakos, where Moses Kuria went and started a fight with the governor, only for William Ruto then to come back again and side with the governor. It's because the cabinet secretary alisikia one side of the story and now came out hitting the other side. So when president went there on a fact-finding mission, he had to side with Wavinya Ndeti and leave out Moses Kuria. And this has caused a lot of discussions here. That are we consulting the people? That's the question. Are you being consulted? How many public participations have you attended? Or how many have you called? Have you been called? We need to find a legal framework. And the challenge here is, unlike in 2013 to 2017, where the courts were so vibrant, and NASA team could easily head to court to challenge things that they think government was not doing right. In fact, on that was the best opposition for me between 2013 and 2017. It was the best opposition of that time. This time round, we have a difference. We have a paradigm shift where we see an executive that is very close to judiciary. A very good relationship, because judiciary has its own budget that they need, and the person giving you budget is that executive, so why not? But it also comes with its own ramifications. And one of those is that as much as judiciary is supposed to checkmate the other arms of government, there seems to be a lot of brotherhood and friendship. So, may never be seen the light of the day. Closed-door estimations. These projects might receive, and actually receiving, backlash from the public. If you don't consult them, they don't own up. And they see you as someone imposing. I worked on a Maverick project, and I was in a position to go to Kilifi. We found a family where mama amezaa watoto 18, somewhere in Kilifi. Maverick project was demand creation for the mature women to uptake family planning solutions. I'm telling you, we went and did a session like for 1 week, trying to just talk to people on first doing assessment on what was going, so we could have these small group discussions of that. Then when we actually found out that our problem, that the Maverick project that we wanted to give, we were giving them about, it could not. That was under PS Kenya. It could not. So we had to come back and design the approach. The approach is we had to look for the husbands. So that's what we are saying, that the diagnosis is fine. The medicine is fine. The problem is the way it is being delivered. And you can doubt everything about President Ruto. Ruto really means well. What's really the challenge is how. You can doubt Ruto on anything, but his quest to success is unmatched. His quest to succeed is unmatched. And maybe it's also overestimated, including me. I could also be overestimating it. But in public, if you listen to William, the president looks a focused man. Guys, the low level of awareness, if you don't consult the people, because it's too public participation, that one, it will also help the media to do coverage, and you will uncover a lot of stuff. For example, if you are doing stakeholder engagement on even this issue of Hustler Fund, you will find out a lot. When you talk to the people, tapata kumbe hata hiyo loan hata sasa hiyo hata sasa ndio shida. I know people say public participation was done at the campaign trail. What was done at the campaign trail, economic forums, was not public participation. Those were political forums that was only to make these people post and do this. But at that moment, you were only talking to wananchi. You did not talk to the people really that matter in the financial provision solutions. So my take here is that this is a ticking time bomb. The faceless people that call the shots should allow the policies, the thoughts, and the ideas of the president to be approved by the people first. I don't want to take. Tell me when last you attended public participation. I want to challenge our Kenyans that are abroad. Tell us what's happening out there compared to what we're having here. What's happening in terms of public participation? What do you see? I think we need to borrow a leaf from our guys in UK, America, and so.